In this video I would like to talk about some common problems that occur when you try to do a strategy test. In this case we do a strategy test for the robot trading system. This is the new MQL4 version. I have just started a strategy test for this currency pair. That's the Australian against the US dollar. And this one works fine. Now we stop the test. Let's pick another one here. Click on Start. And now we see waiting for update and nothing happens. And the reason is that we don't have historical data for this test. So let's find out how to get historical data for free. But before we do that, please click on Tools and open the History Center. You can also press F2. Here we are. And we see that we have no data for this currency pair here. That's the euro against the US dollar. Let's open another one. Here we have some data for 2020 and 2019. And to get the required historical data, we need to make sure that we have checked a few things. The first thing is that it's very easy to mess up this import here. For example, you could pick the wrong currency pair for the data you want to import, or you could pick the wrong time span. In my case, I always import 1 minute data. And when I click on Import, you will see that it would be no problem to import the wrong data here. This one is for another currency pair, but I could import it for the euro against the US dollar. And therefore it's pretty easy to mess up the whole trading system. I have historical data for several years. All the data is downloaded to a particular folder. Here is the one for the euro against the US dollar. And now I can click on this file and select Open. And here is the required data. So let's click on OK. Close the History Center. And this time we have no problem in the strategy tester, because we have imported the required historical data for the right currency pair. There are several websites that offer this kind of data. Just Google for historical data MetaTrader 4. TickStory is one of the paid services. I'm using this one. It offers to download free Forex data for MetaTrader 4. For the 1 minute chart, you can pick the currency pair you like. I'm always downloading the whole year. I will not mess around with the data for each month here, because it's pretty easy to confuse something. So please remember, if you are unable to start a strategy test, or if the strategy test is showing weird data, or if you mess up the historical data import, you will experience strange behavior in the backtest. Depending on the system you are using, you might not be aware that something is going on that you didn't expect. Another common error is that you might have a big gap in your data. Now let me show you what I mean. I'm going to mess up my backtest by just deleting some data. Usually that would be accidentally, but I'm doing it to show you that now we have data until the 3rd of January. And now the next data here is for June. Usually the balance curve will go up like here if you use the MQL4 Robot Trading System. But let's see what happens. This is the 3rd of January. Let's look at the data. And now we are right in June and have a big gap in our data. So be careful to not mess up your strategy test. And always make sure and double check that you have all the required data. And now you know how to avoid data gaps and problems with historical data. And in this little video you have also learned how to import historical data for strategy tests. And you did it yourself within a few minutes.